ready? Roll podcast and action.
What's going on? I'm Nick.
I'm Max.
And we are brothers, and that is the gimmick of this whole deal.
Yeah. This is.
We talk about movies and shit. It's fun.
Sounds good. You said you had something about Marvel movies?
Yeah, so I just found this because I Googled it, and, you know, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. And apparently, for the release of Age of Ultron, they are going to show all 11 Marvel movies before Age of Ultron. And I shit you not, it's not just like a daily thing. It is literally like nonstop, starting at 6 p.m. the day before. They're going to show Iron Man, and then they're going all the way to 7 p.m. the next day and showing Avengers Age of Ultron.
Jesus.
I know.
That's fucking ridiculous.
It's ridiculous and hilarious.
Yeah.
Who would do this? And first of all, I gotta know, are they gonna feed you and stuff, like, during it? Are you seriously gonna rely on popcorn for the entire 27 hours?
Imagine all that popcorn and sour Skittles.
I would be vomiting all over the place.
Oh, I'd be in heaven. Sour Skittles and popcorn are, like, it's my top of
I get sick of popcorn like an hour in.
Okay, do you prefer theater popcorn or homemade microwave popcorn?
Well, you're the popcorn freak, but I don't know. I guess I can't tell the difference. I think theater popcorn probably sucks more, but I've never eaten a lot of homemade popcorn.
I have a box. I got it from home when the Boy Scouts came. We had an unopened box that that mom and dad let me have. It's 18 bags of light butter popcorn, microwave popcorn, and it's not going to last me much longer.
I guess you're set then.
Oh yeah. I love the microwave popcorn is so much better. Microsoft popcorn is good too. I'm sure it's
Microsoft popcorn. Yeah. I'm sure if they tried their hand at popcorn, they would do it pretty well
and make it insanely expensive. But that's
tracking devices in each popcorn.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is pretty wild. I don't. It almost makes me want to do it, the marathon, but I don't understand. Like, how could anybody do it? All right, and also for those of you who may be less insane, there's going to be a smaller marathon, which is just going to show the first Avengers before the Age of Ultron in select theaters, of course. So that'll be. You know, and they've done that before in the past.
Yeah, like that's normal. Like with Dark Knight Rises, they did that. What else did they do? Oh, with The World's End, I went to go see that. It was Shaun of the Dead, and then Hot Fuzz.
And they showed all the
End.
And who is that again? Right?
Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost.
Now I saw the other day Run Fat Boy Run, and that wasn't Edgar Wright, was it?
No, that was just Simon Pegg with a few more British people, but
a few more British people.
Yeah, Edgar Wright's just...
Either way, I didn't think it was terrible, really. I don't like that movie. Everybody's shouted on it because I think they expected it to be an Edgar Wright movie. Anyways, I'm getting off topic.
Yeah, back to... I kind of want to see Winter Soldier back in theaters. That was an awesome fucking movie, so...
Yeah. Got a chance to see it in theaters, actually.
Yeah, I only saw it... Yeah, I saw it on demand, so...
I was in my last year of college and poor, so I just decided to pirate it, and it was really terrible quality, like terrible quality. But I decided to watch it anyways, and it was still really good. But yeah, I guess it's I guess that reminded me of something that you can do now.
You probably buy like partial tickets, like because for The World's End, I'm pretty sure there was an option to just buy tickets for The World's End, and it would just be like you would enter the theaters because every once in a while. Between each movie there was like a break. There was like a 15-minute break, and with each movie sometimes it seemed like more people were coming in. Maybe it was just I was just noticing more people, but by World's End it was like a full theater, whereas at Shaun of the Dead there was not as much people. So it might be you could choose which movies to go to, which I definitely would. It'd just be a marathon. Like I wouldn't do it all day. I'd just choose like every other movie or something like that. Just leave the theater, go back or something.
Yeah.
And I think Destiny's an AMC. It might be Regal, but Destiny's AMC, and that's right near me, so I would definitely take advantage of that if that was an option.
On this article, it's a Rolling Stones article, and on the article it doesn't say anything about tickets or anything like that. So, but I feel like they're, first of all, how expensive would a ticket like this run? I mean, it's like pretty big cinematic movies that you're getting a chance to see for the second time. So I can only imagine they're going to jack it up. I mean, how much was your ticket for all of all of the Edgar Wright movies?
It was a deal, but it still wasn't like cheap. I mean, relatively speaking, yeah, it was a deal, but it wasn't like for the price of one ticket or even 2 tickets. It was like the price of 2.5 tickets or something. Right.
Like so, that. I mean, do you remember? Do you not remember?
No, I don't. It was a while ago. But
well, either way,
with that means that was 3 movies. They had a kind of a deal for 3 movies with like a day's worth of movies. It's going to be a little bit more.
Yeah, this is 11. But
Jesus.
That's still pretty wild, Maybe I'll do it. Who knows? But yeah, that's the news that I got. And the other one, I guess, and related to this, and I don't know if you've heard, Spider-Man is finally in the Marvel Universe. It is big.
That's big stuff.
He will be showing up in Captain America: Civil War.
He will be. Is that for sure? He'll show up in that one.
I'm almost positive that's a confirmed. He is showing up.
Huh. Yeah, people. I know it's before 2017, which is his next Sony movie, his next non-Marvel movie, and I know it was sometime 2017 or before he's going to be showing up.
Yep. That I'm not sure the year, but I do know that. Unfortunately, which is kind of funny, the Amazing Spider-Man series is done. It's like killed, dead in the water, basically, because of this announcement, because of this agreement.
I think the franchise is down because before it was like there was going to be multiple Amazing Spider-Man movies with the addition of there was a Sinister Six movie. There was a Venom-based movie. There was a bunch of movies based on... There's like some female Spider-Man, whether it was Spider-Woman or Spider-Girl or whatever. One of those movies was going to come out, and then Amazing Spider-Man 3 was going to come out. And it was going to have all this like kind of it was going to be like the Avengers for that universe. So maybe they just canceled... Because I feel like they're not going to throw away the unfinished story, and they're going to at least cancel all the like 20 side projects that they decided to do on one franchise, and maybe they'll just make it Amazing Spider-Man 3 is going to come out in like 10 years or something like that, or something ridiculous. They're going to be we didn't... I don't know. Joe told me the other day, and I looked this up, and I'm pretty positive this is happening. So what happened is, I think I saw this, and it's confirmed that it is dead in the water. They're looking for a younger actor to play Spider-Man because they want him to play when he's in high school, and what they want to start is they want to reboot him in the Marvel universe, and they want to start him out as an established superhero. He's been around for a while, like a few years. Yes, I heard that, and I'm so happy about it.
And he's still in high school, though, and they build up to a Sinister Six movie that's going to be the first movie. And actually, I think they've also hinted at him having a little fight with Iron Man, which, if anybody has actually read the Civil War, and this is a spoiler for anybody and all the 2 people that are listening to this podcast, that if you've read Civil War, you know that Spider-Man and Iron Man, they start out as being on the same side. Spider-Man's 4, he's going to reveal his identity, and he's going to register, and he does that, and he starts to end up realizing that it's a terrible decision, and then he goes rogue, which is awesome, and he basically joins up with Captain America. I think that's what they're trying to hint at. That they're trying to move towards that. So I think we're going to see that happening, and it is kind of leaving it in a really weird in the middle phase with Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I think Sony just knew they were missing out on this big cash cow with Marvel, the big Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they finally just gave in. And I like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but I think that's done and over with.
I liked them too. They were pretty decent. It was definitely, that was one of those super mixed reviews movies. That was like, you either loved it or hated it. I thought it was decent.
Yeah.
It was better than 3, obviously.
3 was terrible. We all know.
Yeah. But it was pretty, but, I don't know. That's cool, though, that they're doing
We'll see, though.
I'm glad that Marvel's smart about their movies, and instead of doing they did for the first Avengers. They wanted each main character to have its own movie, which is good. That's a smart idea, because they shouldn't have like introductions, with the exception of like Black Widow or Hawkeye. That's good that they kind of like tease it, like, all right, these people didn't have their own movie, but they're still part of the team. But the rest of the people you all know and love, and then they're doing that a lot more now. And they're gonna say all these people are gonna be in movies, but they're not gonna be their own movies. Really important people like Black Panther are going to have his own movie, and Doctor Strange is going to have his own movie. But people like Daredevil, he's important, but he's going to have his own series, and he's going to introduce like side street superheroes, like Spider-Man's a street level hero, and Cable is apparently rumored to be in a part of that. And he's like
who's Cable?
He's the one with like the blue eye and the gun arm. He is just, one of his arms is just like a gun or something like that. It's ridiculous, but it's he's pretty cool. He was not really played up in Civil War, unfortunately. I liked him from when I read him, and then I read him in Civil War, and I was like, I didn't really like him. He kind of pussied out, but
yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool that they really have their shit together. They have it planned to like 2025 or something like that.
They got this. It's a ridiculous amount.
Ridiculous.
It's funny too, because we were talking about different stuff, and me and Joe, and and just talking about the multiverse and how like there's so many different companies that own this thing. The big thing with Sony, because Sony just gave up the right, not gave up, but worked a deal, so they got Spider-Man. There's all these underlying things that kind of stop Marvel from making these superhero movies, but they do it anyways. They muscled through and they got it. Meanwhile, all these different companies on Marvel own these different superheroes. On the DC universe, it's just Warner Brothers. It literally is just Warner Brothers. So they could have done this way earlier than Marvel did, and now they're kind of scrambling to catch up with Marvel. So it's kind of like, geez, what the hell were you thinking? DC's let the ball slip on that one.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are saying they're kind of scrambling. I think they got there. They're getting back on their feet. They were scrambling for a little bit to go, wow, we can make so much more money, but they're getting better with they're getting better with everything, I feel. Like they have a lot more plans, and they're going to get steady with it. I don't know. I think plus
I mean, I'm rooting for DC, of course.
Yeah. Marvel Studios just makes Marvel movies. Warner Brothers makes tons of movies. So they don't even need to bank on DC, which is kind of smart that they're not trying to bank. If they were trying to bank on one series like DC, then it would be exactly Marvel. It would be a complete knockoff of Marvel. They wouldn't really have as producers behind it saying, all right, we've made franchises before, this is how you do it and this is how you don't do it. You don't want to make it look like you're completely copying this other franchise. So DC has a good company and a good studio behind it, so it's not just the one company that only can bank on this one, or can only bank on this title. Yeah,
I agree. No, yeah, it's pretty wild. And honestly, in my opinion, like I say, I'm all for it. It's like when you want, it's like when you're watching a Godzilla movie and you're just so pumped to see a fight coming. You're just like, you don't care. You don't care what happens to make that fight happen. You're just glad it's there. So this Marvel DC is going to be amazing when we're in the thick of it. Marvel's going to be coming out with like 20 movies from now until 2020, even more after that. And DC is really just starting. They're a little behind Marvel, so they're going to start to get their shit together. DC's got their Batman vs. Superman, their highly, highly rumored Batman solo spinoff. Of course, the Suicide Squad, so they got their own thing. Wonder Woman, which is confirmed, so they got their own thing. And once we're in the middle of it, like, Nerd Central's just going to be loving it. I'm going to be loving it, but I think it's just going to be great. It's going to be like the really, honestly, the greatest 20 years of movies for superheroes. For how many years? For who knows how many years? I mean, it's just going to be wild, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
Try to keep one-upping each other, you know what I mean? They have to.
It's great. It's good. It's good business. The two companies should be glad that they have this business, that they can go back and forth, because that'll make the audience happy, is the fact that they say, no, my movie's better, they say that, but really what they should be caring about is each movie entertaining the audience, and that's good that they can actually just keep this kind of fight going.
Yeah. I'm good for it. Go movies. I don't care. But you were talking about, all right, so, with the Oscars ending and whether or not you're on one side or another of awards shows being pointless or pointful, as you had said before, with them ending and with the kind of hype of it going away, I mean, what of the new movies have you seen? And, just give us a little bit about that if you want that.
Actually, I wanted to tell you about this. I saw Gone Girl.
Okay.
Great movie. Fantastic movie.
Yep, David Fincher.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
One of the greatest directors known to man. It was beautiful. It was, it's a very tough contender against Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It was so good, which was nominated a few times. But, yeah, I was looking up awards, or lack thereof, I should say, Academy. And this is pretty funny. It shows how awesome actors like J.K. Simmons are. Tyler Perry was in for this small part, whatever. He was a small part, but he was decent acting in Gone Girl, and he was tied in another awards show with J.K. Simmons in Whiplash. But guess what the name of the award is?
I don't know. I can't.
He was tied for Best Supporting Actor in the African American Film Critics Association.
Oh my god.
Which I've never heard of that before. But if J.K. Simmons won, that just means he's that awesome if he won in the African American Film Critics Association. So I think
he's so good. He's so good.
He's
just black now.
Apparently, he's so good. He's black. And then there was another weird award. It wasn't as kind of like a weird win like that. It's just a weird award. It was the Alliance of Women Film Journalists. They gave, in the movie, there are a few sex scenes, award-winning apparently, because they won Best Depiction of Nudity, Sexuality, or Seduction.
Nice.
That's an somewhere, I guess.
Most likely to give me a boner. That's what they're really saying. Come on, let's be honest.
Alliance of Women Film Journalists.
So who won that?
Like that'd totally be a guy who would make that award. He'd be like, the main few actors in Gone Girl, Rosamund Pike, Ben Affleck, and Neil Patrick Harris.
And the winner for the best pair of tits goes to...
Apparently. I want to see who presented that also. How awkward was that? I would just feel uncomfortable if they were like, all right, you're presenting this award.
Yeah, that's funny though.
But yeah, that was a great movie, great book, great sex apparently.
Apparently. Well, I had never seen it, but I'm going to go see it. So I heard it was good.
Yeah, it was great.
What else? Anything you've seen else?
For the Academy, I saw Birdman twice.
Nice. Wow.
Phenomenal movie. I mean, out of the nominations, I would say it deserved Best Picture, but out of all the movies that came out, maybe not. I'm still sore about Interstellar getting snubbed.
Well, I honestly was rooting for Boyhood, and I haven't seen it, and I should see it. But I really thought a movie that took 12 years to make, and it actually watched one actor age. Maybe that's not the only thing to base on what makes a good movie, but no movie has ever done that before. I don't know. Birdman got a ton of awards. Yeah, but saying like. You know what I mean? Like, no coming of baby, I guess. This was a movie that it was already like 7 or 8 books, so yeah, of course you're going to try to keep the actors the same or whatever. But anyways, like I'm saying, like, Birdman got a ton. I guess, the Oscars don't work this way, of course. But I always don't like when I see one movie just sweep awards. Like, the Oscars were literally run by the Grand Budapest Hotel and Birdman. They were run by those two movies. And it was bullshit because...
Well,
I like both those movies, but I just
that's normal. I guess I'm biased because it's not the greatest when 1 or 2 movies win, but movies that really like with Birdman. This year was Birdman and Grand Budapest. I was so happy that happened just because there were comedies. Birdman's more of a dramatic comedy, but for the most part, they're comedies. Which in the past 40 years, I saw somewhere in the past 40 years. Only 3 comedies have won Best Picture, and I think that just makes the Oscars seem so much more snooty, and that's what is just, it makes me so much happier just to see that Grand Budapest was winning and Birdman, but they still kind of like gave the right awards to Theory of Everything and Whiplash, and they did give Boyhood a handful of awards, but I do know what you mean, that it was such a like undertaking to make that movie. And last year it was Gravity that won, I think, like 10 out of the 12 awards it was nominated for, which again, that movie, I feel like I was glad to see that won so many, because it was totally deserving, and it wasn't your traditional coming of age, it wasn't your traditional war or based on a true story, or it was realistic fiction, but it was a survival movie. It was a simple, completely simple go from point A to B survival movie, but it was so, that's what it's really about, what the awards should really be about. Just because a movie has a good screenplay doesn't mean it should win Best Picture. It should really be about the experience, because that's what movies are. That's what the Academy is, or should be, I should say. Movies aren't books on purpose. They're because Gone Girl was such an amazing experience, because I'm reading the book now, and it's such a cool experience to read the book, but also to see something is the point of a movie. That's why there's adaptations and stuff like that. So a movie like Gravity is totally deserving of so many of the awards that it won, because it was such a spectacle, and it was such a unique and mind-blowing.
That was Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton was great. He was phenomenal. I haven't seen all the movies that the best actors in the leading role were nominated for, but a lot of my friends said Bradley Cooper deserved it. I think I've only seen Michael Keaton's performance, and he was amazing, so that was a good nomination. So I don't know
if you saw this. This just reminded me of it, but there's this video that went viral actually after the Oscars. So it was a real quick, like, panning across the screen right as Eddie Redmayne won for Theory of Everything. You see Michael Keaton stuffing his acceptance speech back in. Oh, I swear to God. You actually see that, like, and it went viral because people noticed it. Like, he got up and stuffed it back in there. It's very sad, but I think it's
like Zoolander when he goes right up on stage and just accepts the awards.
Exactly. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, Interstellar got completely snubbed, but that's just whatever. It's neither here and there. I'm glad it's Lego Movie. I'm more angry about Lego Movie, and they even had like a big,
because it was the only award it could nominate for. Yeah. Interstellar had so many chances, and it didn't for some reason. But Lego Movie, it had one job, and it completely made this. It should have completely won. I'm looking up what won right now for animated. Oh yeah, it was Big Hero 6, which I heard was a great movie. But at the same time,
stupid. It looks so overdone. I never saw it, but
it's a Marvel movie, which is the only reason I'm giving it the benefit of doubt. Box Trolls was stop motion, so yeah, that gets the nomination. That gets whatever. But so Lego Movie was like a type of stop motion. They scanned every single Lego piece that went into that movie. And what makes it stand out again with animated movies? It's about being creative and being a creative person and a good person, not love, that everyone deserves love and everyone will get friends and
just be yourself.
Be yourself. No, it's not that bullshit. It's being creative and having fun as a child. It's making sure you don't let adulthood ruin the fact that you were once a child. And that's such a unique message for animated movies. Every movie is about this stupid. I love Pixar, but every movie is so many of their movies are about being loved and being you're unique, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways,
I was glad to see that Miyazaki won the honorary award.
I did see that. That was cool. Good for him.
Just because he's awesome.
He's a shit. Yeah.
Even though he retired, which is so sad.
Yeah, that is pretty sad.
I refused to believe it at first because he said after Spirited Away. And I think after Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke that he was retiring from making movies, and then he was like, I'm just gonna keep making movies and make amazing movies, like just gorgeously beautiful movies. Mm-hmm. And then this one apparently is one of his best ever, and now he is actually quitting. So it's like, shit. At least he's going out on a good note, though.
Sorry, I'm watching the new Age of Ultron. It's taking me an hour to watch it. Pretty awesome, though. Do you notice that the Stark Tower looks so much like the Avengers building in the comics now? It's great.
Yeah, it was. Now they gotta work in the Baxter Tower if Fox gives up its rights.
Yeah.
But they won't. They won't because Fox is greedy, but Marvel is not treating them like adults and treating them like little kids who have the rich parents and taking shit away from them. Like, I just saw in the news a while ago that Marvel is no longer making. They're going to continue making X-Men comics, but they're not going to make any new characters. The point is so that Fox can't make any more revenue, can't put any more new characters in their movies.
So they're kind of like putting them in a vice grip, you know.
And on top of that, next summer or something like that, in 2016, it's going to be the end of Fantastic Four. Since Fox has the rights for Fantastic Four, Marvel is discontinuing them. The comic's just going to be over, which they're guessing is, which a lot of people are speculating, there's some comic book arc starting called like the Final Four, or the Fantastic Finale, or something like that, and it's gonna just be the end of Fantastic Four.
Well, you know, nothing's ever the end. I saw a comment on something the other day, like on YouTube, and it was someone revealing something about Secret Wars, which is just an arc in the comic books, and it would take way too much time to go into now. But anyways, people were speculating left and right who was going to die or who was going to survive. And then someone said, you know, honestly, dude, you can't really be too broken up about anybody dying in this world because nobody's really dead in the comic book universe. If you're minor or you're maybe like second tier, which like that would be Hawkeye and Black Widow, there might be a good chance that they could die and be dead forever. That's just my strong opinion. I mean, I don't think that could really realistically happen. The Fantastic Four is marketable. They're a good team. I think they're going to stick around. I think what's going to happen, in my opinion, with this case then, is Marvel's going to do this. Fox is going to give in or have to cave in somehow, and that's going to cause them to just basically work out their own problems and figure it out.
I hope so. I mean, technically they could just keep going with movies. They could still say like, all right, whatever, the comics are done, but we still have enough 40 plus years of backstory that we could totally work off of. And even though maybe Marvel would just tell them like, you don't have the rights to that story anymore or something. You know, they might do something like that. I mean, can they do something like that? I don't know. They should. Maybe, but the fact that they're taking 40 plus, just the fact alone that they're saying, 40 plus years of backstory, we're just going to end it because you're making money and you're, you know, whatever, you're making good movies, you're making good X-Men movies.
Well, you know, I mean, okay, yeah, they're making good X-Men movies, but they're making different sides on this. I like it, though, because, you know, I would love to see I think people just really want to see the X-Men in Marvel, in the Marvel universe, and Sony kind of gave in and compromised, but Fox is not really doing that, and that's what Marvel's pissed off about, I think.
Yeah, I just think Marvel shouldn't be the guy that says, you're not letting me play with my toys enough, so I'm going to take away all my toys.
Yeah.
Like, they're like little kids in this. I just think both companies are just being little kids about it, and I think they should just, you know. And
yeah, I could see it that way.
The worst, to make it worse, it was like, when I found this out was the day that, I know you're not a Red versus Blue fan, but one of the co-directors of the series, he was one of the co-directors and one of the fight choreographers, died. He died, and he's an independent filmmaker, and he made his own original series other than just Red versus Blue that he created, and it was just like this amazing like world. He was like, it was completely independent and not really well funded, but it was still. It's still like he didn't care. He still worked through all this stuff, and he would never. Apparently, the whole studio just boasted about how he would never stop working, like even on vacation. His vacation was working on one project at a time rather than three, which he always did. And then he, you know, all these independent filmmakers are like getting together, and this is Monty Ohm for any of the audiences that heard about this.
What, did he die of cancer or something? Or
no, he was in some simple surgery. that involved a blood transfusion. And then whatever happened was he got a severe allergic reaction with something they were treating him with, and he eventually passed away peacefully a few days later. And this whole independent film community was getting together and like, you know, giving him thanks and saying things in his memory. And literally the same day I saw the news article about Marvel and Fox doing this, and I was like, you're fucking kidding me. You're going to be that much of a baby about your little thing while people are like obviously they hadn't heard of it, but it's like, are you really not making enough money? These people who have like no money.
So what you're saying is like, you know, Marvel's doing this thing just so they can get the rights to X-Men while this guy's working his ass off, basically till death, working 3 different projects just because he enjoys doing it and he wants people to see it. I get what you're saying. Well, that's the difference between big corporations and independent solo guys, unfortunately, is like, you know, you got people that want to do what they want to do because they just enjoy doing it, and the money's not much of a problem because they're not making much of it. And then you got the big corporations that know they can see how much money is in a character. So, yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Yeah, but that's it's smart business. I totally understand that, but it just annoyed me to see that the same exact day. It was like, or I mean, obviously they weren't planning that, obviously. Yeah,
but,
it's like poetic almost, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. That was definitely something I did want to mention on the podcast, by the way, as just an in memorial, since he was like, Monty Ohm was just a big independent movie guy that I wanted to at least give a shout out to, kind of in memory thing.
Man, rest in peace, guy. You know,
but
I'm sure he will be missed because there was like a big, you know, what you say, it was a cult following, right?
It was a huge cult following. It was like the biggest following on any like web series or independent series. I don't know. There's some statistic that's like wacky. It's like the longest running science fiction series ever. He helped that. But yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, you know, good for him. He did what he could, I think, in this time, it sounds like. How many seasons did it go for?
It's on its 12th season.
Okay.
Or its 12th season just ended. It's going into its 13th. Yeah.
Well, you know, it surpassed Scrubs, but it's not necessarily South Park material. Yeah, so we kind of just dug ourselves into a little bit of a hole talking about Red versus Blue, which it reminded me of something else, the independent thing. You were talking to me about how you just participated in some 36-hour or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, it was called the Mixed Emotions 36-hour Film Festival. And it's the kind of predecessor. We have a 48-hour one earlier in the year that I didn't end up participating in. But this one I did, and it was just it was just nuts. Because it was my first time. I loved it, but it was great because I did the hardest possible medium. When I got there and I signed up, I was like, I don't have a team. I tried to get a team together, but they were like, I was like, I don't have a team. Is there a way I could get set up with a team? And they said, yep, you absolutely can. And one of the directors was there, and he was like, I'm a personal friend of the people running it. I'm going to be participating. You could be in my team since we need a 5th member. And I was like, great. And he goes, just to let you know, I personally work exclusively in stop motion.
Oh,
shit. Yeah. He's like, I know not a lot of people do that, but you know, if you're cool with that, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's.
And then you said, I'll pass. See ya.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm totally cool.
I'm changing
with that.
Majors.
And then I walked away, and I was just thinking to myself, fuck, I have no idea anything about stop motion. I saw Coraline, and that's about it. I watched,
you saw Fantastic Mr. Fox. You're more qualified than you think.
We had a good conversation about that. That's kind of one of the icebreakers, was talking about movies like that. Yeah, so not only that, out of the 36 hours, I had about 7 hours of sleep spread throughout. First night was 3 hours. Second night was also about 3 or 4 hours of sleep. To top it all off, get to the submission point, get to the last few shots. We're like, all right, listen. Like he's kind of a perfectionist, and he's not like snobby at all. Like he hates it. He's like, I hate the fact that I have to get this right, but I have to get this right. And I'm like, I understand. And he's like, all right, so we got this shot. I'm like, yes, but we can do this and it'll be faster. And he's like, yeah, but this will look better. I'm like, yes, but this will be faster. And we had to, every once in a while, it was me and a few of the other crew members had to like keep him in check as far as time went. And then eventually, to top it all off, we didn't qualify because we were done well ahead of time. We were mixing sound. We had great sound effects. Our sound team was like amazing. We were into submission, and the computer crashed. So.
Are you serious? And you lost everything, or?
Nope. We gained everything once the computer booted up, and about 10 minutes after submission time. Or no, the computer booted up like right at submission time, but we had to we needed to email or share or whatever. We had to get it to the office like right on time, and we didn't. But
and they didn't care. I mean, like,
no,
I feel like
one of them was a really good friend of the director. So she tried to do everything she could. She apologized to me like 20 times because she's like, "It's your first time, and you might not even fucking qualify. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "No, it's fine." I'm like, "It was fun." Which it really was. It was so fun. It was totally worth it. And eventually she worked it out where we didn't qualify for any of the awards except for audience choice. Apparently you could just vote audience choice, which something ended up where we would have, if we did qualify, I heard this afterwards, if we did qualify, we would have won by a landslide because of the art direction, and the sound design would have won, and it would have won best picture of the festival. But we didn't qualify, and apparently, like, by a landslide, apparently there was like, out of the 30 votes, 28 were for us, and the next best were like 23. So
that's crazy. But, that sucks. But, yeah, don't use that. Maybe put it somewhere else. Who knows? Put it out there in general. Use it for another festival coming up later or something.
He won last year. The director won last year, too. It was another stop-motion one that I saw a while ago when I first entered. My advisor showed me. He's like, this is the winner of the last year's 36 Hour, and it was really cool. It was really artistic and stuff like that. Ours was awesome. It was just awesome. I'll probably end up posting, if I post this with a link dump under it, I'll probably post.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty funny.
And it
reminds me of
the director's Vimeo. I'll post.
Oh yeah, definitely. I look forward to seeing that. I'm sure anybody that eventually comes to listen to this will appreciate that as well. It reminds me, what was on the other day? The Rocker. That semi-okay movie with what's his name?
Johnny Knoxville.
Dwight.
No. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of the other.
No.
The one where he pretends to be in the Special Olympics.
The Ringer.
The Ringer. Yeah.
I'm talking about the Rocker with
Rainn
Wilson.
Wilson, yeah.
Yeah. He's the washed up rocker. And anyways, there's a part where they're getting big and they're making a music video, and I didn't notice it before the first time I saw it, but Dimitri Martin is their like director for their music video, and he's trying to do stop motion, and he goes, "All right, we're gonna do stop motion. I'm gonna use this super old, you probably know the name of it, super old 70mm camera. Okay, I'm gonna take a click, and you're gonna move a little, and I'm gonna take another click, and you just picture Dimitri Martin in your head going, all right, move a little, click, all right, move a little, click, all right, move a little bit, click." It's hilarious. It's one of those times where you watch a movie, which, I feel like everybody's done at one point. You watch a movie and you don't even realize that person was in it.
People watch movies.
Shut up. I'm talking about when you watch a movie and you don't realize that person has always been in that movie. Like Dimitri Martin being that guy. The other day, and this is a confession I'm making online, let the world know, watching Mean Girls for a repeated time. It's an awesome movie, let's be honest.
It's an awesome movie. There's no denying that.
It really had only occurred to me probably about the third or fourth time that I watched it. Yes, I've watched it more than that many times. That Rachel McAdams is that main, like, plastic chick.
Yeah.
She's the main, and you don't register it because, now she's like the good girl in all these movies.
And she's totally not a high schooler at all.
Like, I saw Mean Girls, and then I saw Wedding Crashers, and I'm like, oh, who's this chick? It's Rachel McAdams. I'm going to look for her in future movies. But, it never re-registered to me that was also the girl in Mean Girls, Like, I know actors, and I'm pretty good with that, but sometimes you just watch movies, and it double registers, it doesn't register the first time.
Like, I loved when I noticed, I obviously right off the bat noticed Lindsay Lohan and Tina Fey, and, like, all the big names, but, like, when I noticed Amanda Seyfried. I'm not a huge fan of her in general, like especially when she does serious stuff. But in that, she was absolutely perfect. So I was happy to see that. I was like, I recognize you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about this, but then totally paid off. I was like, oh great. She has some of the best lines in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not that stupid. No, I am. That's funny though. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great. That's one of those great movies that's like a good date movie where it's kind of a chick flick, but guys can tolerate it.
Oh yeah.
And by tolerate it, I mean watch it more than 4 times.
Watch it more than. Exactly.
Watch it once or twice or 5 times, you know.
Or whatever. It's almost like a novelty now, so who cares?
That's like John Hughes movies. Those are like John Hughes movies are really like kind of, with the exception of like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Wait, before I say that, I'm gonna look this up. Is he Ferris Bueller's Day Off? I think he is. I think he like helped it.
John Hughes?
Something. Yeah.
John Hughes also did what is it, Home Alone, right?
It is John Hughes. No.
Oh, Henry, that's Christopher Columbus.
Chris Columbus,
isn't it?
yeah.
Kudos to that guy. Discovering America, Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2.
Harry Potter 1 and 2.
Wow, he's got quite the resume, I gotta say.
He directed something recently. Chris Columbus, founder of America, killer of many
Killer of many engines.
Many engines. What did he direct just real recently? Oh yeah, the Percy Jackson movies. One of the Percy Jackson movies. I was like, huh. I was like, that makes sense though, because that movie I hear is just okay. It's super okay, it's
super okay.
Yeah, it's not bad like I'm trying to think. I don't know, some other franchise. It's just bad, and it's not great like Harry Potter. It's just super okay.
I would just love to see that. You know how they do those annoying like interviews after movies and stuff, and people interview people how the movie was. Just some guy to just come out and just go, "Oh my god, it was so just okay."
It was just phenomenally okay. It was.
Oh my god, just mediocre beyond my wildest beliefs.
That's how a lot of people describe Nicolas Cage. Is he's the most passable actor ever? Is what I hear a lot. Just the greatest term ever was just the most passable actor ever.
God, that guy. I don't know how he keeps getting work. I gotta tell you, but good for him.
Yeah, I mean he's still getting work. He's getting the wrong work. It's usually work that involves emotion and a lot of like acting, but whatever. Like I feel like Ghost Rider should just be recast. I think it would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, I love Ghost Rider. I think he's a sick character. I think, and I actually didn't think
Ghost Rider is one of my favorite comic book characters. And I saw on a movie pilot post that somebody commented, it was something about Age of Ultron, and somebody commented, all I want is by the time Avengers Infinity Wars comes around, Ghost Rider to be introduced. I was like, I guess I'm not the only person who still has faith in film version of Ghost Rider. I feel like everybody just lost hope in that after the first 2, again, super mediocre movies. Well, I didn't see the second one. I heard it was bad, but the first one was super mediocre. And I feel like so.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really mind Nick Cage in that movie, but yeah, you're probably right. It could have been better, I guess. And also that, yeah, you're with Ghost Rider as I am with the Punisher, and I think it's rough too because with the Punisher, because they twice now have kind of messed up the Punisher, and I think like people are just gonna not touch that guy now forever.
Yeah,
and it's just sad. It's kind of sad.
People who are loyal fans of the comic book and of the movie were saying that they liked Thomas Jane a lot as Punisher, even if the movie itself was okay. They thought it was great at like. A lot of people who like really read the comics said the Thomas Jane one was really great, but unfortunately he like had a falling out with whatever studio made it, I think. But he had a falling out. Oh, it was Lionsgate made that one. It wasn't Fox or Sony. It was just Lionsgate. It was before Marvel really was a studio, but which means I feel like they could buy back Punisher soon.
Yeah, I'm holding out hope just like you are with Ghost Rider. I got for movies that I know, it's like you have those two things that you like that you know are going to be successful, and the one that you just love because you always have loved, and you just know it's not going to be successful. Now, it makes no sense, but like my two football teams, I know in my heart that I love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're a terrible team.
Sorry.
I know. They're a terrible team. They're always going to lose. They're probably always going to suck. There might be a year or two that they do awesome. But in the meantime, I'm going to like...
It's like having Ted as your favorite character in Scrubs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're always going to lose. But like, what was... Like, I actually like I like the Broncos. They do really well.
Do they, though?
Well, they can kind of consistently do pretty well. Yeah, they got Peyton Manning and stuff. Yeah, they do pretty well. You watch sports. You don't know.
No, I don't. I watch soccer.
But anyways, so, you know, you got your two teams, and I got my two movies. Batman, you know, you're never going to not have enough Batman movies. People are constantly going to buy him. People are constantly going to be making movies about him. I mean, they've been doing it since the 80s pretty consistently. You know, yeah, there's been some terrible ones along the way, but they've been doing it, and they're going to keep doing it. And Punisher, they did it twice in a very short amount of span. It just died. But I've always liked the Punisher better than like Batman because, you know, I like Batman and all of his lore and all the superheroes, and he's so much more expansive, and he's a much better character, more developed character. But the whole no-kill code just pisses me off sometimes. You know, it's just like...
I love it.
You know, it's like the Punisher just doesn't...
It makes him so much more grounded, though. I feel like Punisher is just a guy killing people, and that's why the cops hate him. Batman, they hate him, but for a different reason. They're kind of like, all right, we hate you, but you totally made my evening a lot easier, so it's all right because these people are just in jail now, and that's so much better than having, in my opinion, than having just a killer, because then a killer is always going to be on the run. You can't say I am the Punisher, because then they'd be like, oh guys, we just heard someone say that they were the Punisher, let's arrest him because we're the cops and he just murdered so many people.
Yeah, but that's the thing that adds a little, like, layer to him. Like, is he really a hero or is he not a hero, you know? Because he's murdered thousands of people, but all those thousands of people are, like, rapists and murderers themselves. So it's like, you know, I understand that, like, code, and I think it's a good code. Although in, like, all the movies, he's totally killed a ton of people. Batman, oh yeah. But... I just think like the Punisher he just doesn't fuck around. He's just like, whatever, dude. I don't have morals. My only moral is kill the bad guys. You know, it's great. Plus, he doesn't waste any time, and he doesn't have to like screw around basically. But no, yeah. You know.
I was watching Dark Knight with one of my friends a while ago, and we were talking about how we're just like, man, Batman's just like, he's just like the best. He's really a badass, but he's like the greatest badass ever because he really just means good, you know. He's always going out of his way to save people that he just hates. And, you know, his only rule is he doesn't kill. And then 2 seconds later, we saw one of the scenes in Dark Knight when he drives the tumbler underneath one of the underneath one of the pickup trucks, and it just flies up into the bridge
above,
and just
that
and we're
dude
just like,
is dead.
okay, yeah, that guy's dead. That guy's a dead person.
Dead dude. And then you got Punisher. I read this comic the other day. It was one of my old Punisher comics. You got the Punisher. One of the issues. It's real, like, it was just a one-shot thing. A reporter, like a real diehard, like ambitious kid reporter, decides to handcuff himself to the Punisher. You know, already you're thinking to yourself, wow, this is a great idea. This is gonna end well for him. You know. Aren't you thinking that?
Oh, boy.
The Punisher has this guy named Soap who gives him all the down low on all the criminals and stuff. And the Soap works for the cops. And they have Soap, these guys have Soap at gunpoint and basically say, if you don't bring this reporter around to your typical business, then we're going to kill your informant. So, you know, basically blackmails the Punisher into giving him the best story ever. And the Punisher just you fucks with him the whole time. Basically does a normal day's work. You know, just he drives up to a car, tosses a grenade in it. Turns out they were a bunch of pimps and stuff or whatever. Then he pulls up to a drugstore, does a drive-by to a bunch of another gang. Meanwhile, then just speeds down the road. There's cops coming after. There's gangsters coming after him. Goes to a like abandoned farm where the cops, the gangs, all collide in this huge farmhouse and just start shooting each other to death. Basically, Punisher's just like, yeah, whatever, man. They're doing the work for me. Yeah, he just does not give a fuck. And then, to top it all off, they're all shooting at him now. All the while, this reporter is just getting run ragged, trying to get the quote-unquote best story of his life. And then at the very end, and sorry to ruin this for anybody, but I guarantee nobody's like chomping at the bit to find out the ending of this comic. The barn that the Punisher ends up running to gets like blown up, and there's a wood chipper in the back, in the bottom. The barn blows up, they fall, Punisher rolls away safely, but the dude falls into the wood chipper, and the wood chipper, of course, because one of the pieces of wood from blown up the barn turns the wood chipper on, saws the guy all the way up to his wrist, just dead, just straight dead. And the Punisher just is like, oh, well, I guess I'm free now. And, drives back, basically shoots the two dudes that are with Soap, gets his informant back. Meanwhile, no skin off his back because some annoying little guy trying to get some story. Now, Punisher didn't actually kill this defenseless guy, so he's somewhat in the right still, if there's any right with him. But he just let him die in a hilarious and terrible way.
In a slapstick way.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, wood chipper, huh? Classic. But it was one of my favorite, probably, comics. Next to, of course, the one where the Punisher fights the Wolverine. But that's just for another day.
One of the reasons I'm absolutely rooting for the heavily rumored Deadpool movie to be rated R is because if they make a rated R Deadpool movie and it's successful, they will 100% make a Punisher movie again. They absolutely will. Because one of the main reasons they're probably holding back is because it's a comic book movie. How are they going to make it R? And then Deadpool, everyone says you need to make it R. It's got to be a hard R, or else it won't work.
Wasn't there somebody? I thought one of the actors was like saying like if I will only do this movie if it's R.
Ryan Reynolds is the only actor really attached, but
I thought someone said that about some movie. Maybe it's something else that I was thinking of. I don't know.
He said possibly. He's like pushing for it. He didn't say he wouldn't do it. He didn't say he would do it if it wasn't rated R, but he didn't say if he wouldn't. He's just kind of pushing it and just leaving it out there to make sure. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of speculation going on around that.
Well, I already am seeing a Deadpool movie, what we know so far article, so it might be pretty confirmed. I mean, yeah, the movie itself is confirmed, and Ryan Reynolds playing, I'm pretty sure, is confirmed. But director and I see
writer,
it February 12th, 2016.
And I know it's definitely it's X-Men universe. It's Fox. I don't know what the deal is with some of the stuff. Everyone's saying it's pretty much going to be rated R, though. It's not really that big of a doubt that it's going to be rated R, but I just want it to be successful because then that'll prove that movies like The Punisher can also be successful.
Yeah. I love the idea. Like I said, I'm a big anti-hero fan. I love Riddick and Chronicles of Riddick. I love how, Tyler Durden. I love how Batman can border that edge a lot of the times, and Deadpool is just another one of those guys that can really definitely be a great anti-hero if he's done right. And Ryan Reynolds, he's had his good movies and bad movies, but he's great for that quick wit, off the cuff talk.
Work with the mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
I could segue into our last bit, unless you had something else. But
no, I have no idea what to talk about. So.
Well, I was gonna say, kind of a segue. Speaking of Tyler Durden and Fight Club, I wanted to talk about how David Fincher. I wanted to talk about David Fincher and about how what makes Gone Girl and like all those movies, without spoiling, obviously, since you haven't seen it. But what makes all those movies really great are they're all like 90% of David Fincher movies are like murder mysteries or something along the lines of that. And it's what makes his movies so good is that he's really an underrated character director. He's not an underrated director, but like not a lot of people realize that he's so good. It's because of all of his characters. Like everyone knows Quentin Tarantino, all of his movies are characters and whatnot. Coen Brothers, all those movies are only characters and no plot. But David Fincher, he has a lot of it's just like, you know, it's Seven and Zodiac and Gone Girl and all these other movies about finding a serial killer are Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. All of the reason they're unique is because of people like the girl in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, or the different characters that Jake Gyllenhaal meets in Zodiac. And Gone Girl, once you see Gone Girl, you'll see that every single character in that is this just, oh my god, you don't know who to root for in that kind of movie, and it makes it so interesting. And that's what in Tyler Durden, obviously, even though that one had a really unique story to it and really unique screenplay, it really was what made it so great was Tyler Durden as a character. You know, Edward Norton, Helena Bonham Carter, and Brad Pitt all just made these amazing people that like you wanted to care about and you wanted to know more about. And they're realistic too. What makes them so great is they're so realistic, unlike Tarantino characters who have goofy nicknames and eye patches and shotguns on their penises or something like that.
That's coming out, by the way. Did you know that? Confirmed girl with shotgun for a penis.
New David Fincher, Quentin Tarantino collaboration. Girl with shotgun penis.
Girl with shotgun for a penis.
Starring Rooney Mara and Samuel Jackson.
Danny Trejo as the shotgun penis.
As the penis. And the girl with the penis.
I would go see that movie.
I gotta say though, my girlfriend's friend's dad, try and follow that, he is a Tarantino character. He's white, bald, muscular, tiny, and on top of all that, speaks in jive. He has a tattoo on his bald head, on the back of his bald head, and he speaks in jive, like old school Harlem jive, and he's white, tiny, and muscular. And it's the funniest. I didn't believe he was a real person. I thought he was joking when he first talked to me. And Anais had to let me know that no, don't. And he's also racist. I gotta add that in also.
That's great.
Or questionably racist. He's one of those guys where you're like, I'm pretty sure he's racist. He's never said anything really racist, but like, though he gives off a racist vibe, and you're just like, I'm pretty sure he's got to be racist. And that I think is hilarious because he's somebody out of a Tarantino movie, just talks to me, and it's so hard not to laugh. And every time he doesn't trust, he's super untrusting or something like that. So he always, whenever I'm giving Anais and her friend a ride, he comes up to me and asks me how I'm doing, and that to making sure that I'm going to be safe and make sure everyone else is going to be safe, but like threateningly, like he's interrogating me, not like, hey, there's my daughter in there. It's like, yo, that my daughter in there, you better not be going all bad or all crazy. And I'm just like, oh my god. It's just an experience, and it's great. But
that's some of the people that you need to take from like inspiration when you write like characters and stuff.
Absolutely, he's probably Tarantino's best friend. I mean,
that's
funny. I feel like that just all of Quentin Tarantino's characters are just based off of like people like him, and it's great because I mean he's never been mean to me, so I mean I get he's nice to me, but he's, like I said, he's questionably racist, so I'm not gonna. It's kind of hard to judge, but it's funny. He's just the cartoon character. He's not real. He can't be real.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Yeah. So I guess on that note about talking about racists, potential racists, we'll bring this guy to a close. Thanks for listening, everybody, in the first episode of Super Movio Brothers, which is the title we decided on. And
you still hate that title?
I mean, I'm indifferent about it. I don't really care. It's fine.
Whatever.
Fuck it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Who cares? Fucking let's do it. Where I'm gonna be posting stuff like this. I'm going to be posting this to the YouTube channel, which is Alpha Centauri. I'm going to be posting it on SoundCloud, possibly a blogspot, and possibly a website. I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm talking to my guy about a website. And also on the YouTube channel, you're going to find this podcast, short films, gameplay, stuff like that. Just whatever we fucking do is just going to be on that channel. And it's not going to... And we're going to try and keep a weekly structure to it. I got a review series that I'm starting up now that I'm just finishing up. I'm going to post that after this.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You won't see a lot of Nick because he's a goon. But yes,
I'll join in, give my opinion here or there whenever Max, my little brother, feels enough honor or worthy enough to pencil me in.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But
Good talk.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, bye.
All right. Have a good one. Till next time.
Shut up. Don't say things like that.
Can't we have a send-off?
We're not going to have a send-off.
Live long and prosper, right? Come on. Rest in peace.
Leonard Nimoy. We didn't talk about him.
And, if you ask me...
I don't really watch Star Trek as much, so...
Let's just call it a point for Star Wars.
Oh, God.
I know that's dark. I know. Leonard Nimoy's an awesome guy. But I'm just saying. Go Star Wars.
Sorry, everybody. I'm just going to apologize for this outro.
All right. I'll see you. See you, Max. I don't know if you want to end this.
I'm just going to... Bye. Okay.
This is terrible.